So sometime between this video and the previous video, I've changed to a new computer and I haven't gotten duel links working yet, so for now we will unfortunately need to look at the new ban list from the duel links meta website, which is still fine. At least we can like look at the comments other people have made. But I don't have a lot of high hopes for this ban list. I just don't have high hopes anymore in general, for speed at least. I am interested more in Rush because I have more hopes for that format. But for speed, I don't think they will hit the strongest decks correctly. They usually don't hit the skills anymore, which I don't know why. So I don't actually expect a hit for the starter skill as much as I hope that would happen. And what they will probably do is hit more FTK pieces, hit maybe like the second or third best deck, maybe hit some cards in Stardust but not enough to kill the deck, and then unban a bunch of cards that don't matter. So Rush is what I am more interested in. So let's have a look. Okay, Dominance is FTK, the Unsinkable Titanica is sunken now, Springen's Blast, Necromain King, Anti-Aggro Flowers, Synchro, Ignis. Okay, these are all FTK pieces. Sure. Okay. Cards to be limited to one. Crimson Dragon. That needs to be hit with something else, so we will see. Mask of a Strict is the dumbest limit one I've ever seen. That doesn't really solve anything. That's just like a thing that people play because people play lava golems and sphere modes, which is an issue with the format itself. And Mask of Restrict is like a way, I guess, people try to combat that, and now they can't play alongside any other limit one cards because this card is already only available at one copy anyway, so that doesn't really change anything for most decks. I guess that means that Stardust couldn't play this card, but that deck doesn't really care anyway. Rainbow Life, okay, that's doesn't really do too much, but I like changes like that because cards that stall are always not fun to play against, especially when they are competitively viable. Think back when Literalisk was meta, Assembled Nightingale just being able to detach one to make you take no damage this turn was always really toxic in the meta, so having that being reduced is good. I'm assuming they're also going to hit Hollow the Life Barrier, otherwise this doesn't really make too much sense. I imagine that will be hits for Firion because that was a deck that was playing these cards. Red Eyes Burn, another burn card. Silver Rocket, I think that's because rockets are getting new support, so having this preemptively hit is good just because this is the most toxic card out of all the rockets. Blasting the Ruins hit is more FTKs, Teva, and Howl the Life Barrier. These are more stall cards that Firion was playing, that's good. Trident to one discard should be banned. Extra deck ripping non-harder once per turn extra deck rip is not good for the game. I think they also need to hit Ultimire Zolkin, otherwise they can just make this card using that, and even only having one copy is really, really good. Explode the Rocket Dragon, I think, is another rocket preemptive ban. This is not as important as the Silver Rocket one, but I guess that stops people from trying to find FTKs, but I guess people will always find a way if Konami never gives skills real restrictions. So I guess we'll have to see about that. Rose Whip should be banned. I don't know why this is legal. Cursed Build's another FTK card, and that's all. Alright. So no Zolkin ban means that Centurions and some other decks can still make Trident. I was trying out a version of Centurion that was making Ultimaya Zolkin to make Trident, because you can very easily make 2 level 5 or higher tuners and non-tuners, and then you can just set the Centurion spell trap that you get from your skill, and then that gives you a free Trident, and then you can just rip your opponent's extra deck immediately. But if you do that, you can't play Crimson Dragon in Centurion, which is already a kind of a hit, but that doesn't really stop you from using Trident. You can still make it pretty easily. But it is a hit. But I don't think that's going to be enough hits for Stardust. We'll have to see if they hit the deck more. It's gonna be quite miserable if they don't, but we'll have to see. Got submitted to Hydra and Predator Prime Fusion. I guess that means that Predator plans can now play Hydra once again and Super Poly, which is, I guess, kind of the response that Konami has to decks like Stardust that put out 10 billion negates, is that now we have more decks in Engine that can deal with that, which is not good because Hydra was always a miserable card to play against. It's just an archetype searchable kaiju that summons to your field instead of your opponent's field, so like your opponent doesn't even get a monster, you're the one getting a monster, and then also you have a searchable super poly. So that's more toxic gameplay, which is not something that I'm looking forward to. Cards limited to 3, shooting. Okay, I guess that's like a Stardust hit, and Valmonica to 3. And that's it. We're not even hitting another card to 3 for Stardust. That's the only limit 3. Cool. Well, that hopefully means that they're gonna hit the skill, right? Surely they're gonna hit the skill. Definitely. And Valmonica, I don't know about this deck enough to know if that hit does anything too massive, but I'm imagining that it's not too big of a deal. Unlimited cards, draw. Why would you unlimit this card? This card was perfect at 3. It's like the new era of limit 3 traps where they limit all the good cards, good staple cards to 3, so that you can only choose between a certain amount of them. And that was the case for Draw and Nib. And those two cards are really good, like, turn-ending hand traps, and having them limited to 3 means that not only can you not play all 6 of them, you can also not play them in decks that already have limit 3 cards, which is kind of a good way to stop top-tier decks from playing these cards. But, well, now you can play them, so that's awesome. Hot Regenerated Archfiend Abyss. This means that I think the Red Dragon Archfiend deck can play Void Ogre Dragon, which is just more negates, which is more reasons to play Lava Golem in Sphere mode, which I can't help but notice is not limited in any way. So it's gonna be more Lava Golems in the format. Yippee! Buster Drake to Unlimited, Nibiru to Unlimited. About the thing that I was talking about, well, I guess Nibiru is also unlimited now. That hopefully means that more skills will have restrictions that stop you from summoning Nibiru, but I don't think that that's gonna be something that Konami is going to do, unfortunately. So I guess that just means that there are gonna be more Nibirus in the format. Trap Trip Garden, that's whatever. Valen's World, that card should never be limited in the first place. Okay, that's it for the speed ban list. Not looking good. I hope that they hit the Stardust ban list, otherwise it's a Stardust skill, because otherwise this ban list is gonna be not good, but at this point, I have already stopped having high hopes for anything, so even if they don't hit the Stardust skill at all, I am not gonna be surprised. Rush cards! Miracle Fusion limited to 1, this is a good hit that not only stops people from playing 3 copies of this card is ridiculous, it allows you to fuse from grave. This also stops them from playing Pot of Greed, which is good. It's a good hit. Card Trooper is basically like a Pot of Greed that uses the monster slot in Legend, because you can only play 1 Legend card type per card type, so you can play 1 Legend monster, 1 Legend spell, and 1 Legend trap. So people usually play Pot of Greed for the 1 Legend spell slot, but Card Trooper is basically Upstart Goblin, but you can play it in monsters. So now, when this card is limited to 1, you can't play this alongside Pot of Greed, so you can only choose between 1. So they can't just have like a free Upstart Goblin. So that's good. Void Veil Crystal Ore from 3 to 1 is sad but understandable. As someone who plays this deck main, I can see why they hit this card. This card is by far the strongest aspect of Dark Galaxy. Being able to attack 3 times with a 2500 attack monster is really good. It's so good at a point where people are playing this card over the new limit-free White Knight, which is a card that enables you to search your future materials. That card was really good, but this card is better, so people still play this card as the limit-free Dark Galaxy card other than over the other one. So just being limited to 1 will make people play that card more, which is nice, and also stop them from playing Pot of Greed. I personally wasn't playing Pot of Greed because I was playing all monsters, but that will stop people who play Pot of Greed from playing Pot of Greed. And also stop them from just winning on turn 2 immediately by having access to this card. Vic Viper Beginning is a good Gradius hit. In case you're not familiar with the Gradius deck in Rush, this deck can just OTK from any position. It can clear back row, it can reduce your opponent's monster's attack, and then just win by basically cycling through your entire deck. And its game plan going first is just to set a trap that makes them not die. So kind of like Ferions. And the reason why this card is so good is because it allows you to send face down monsters from your field. So a really common trap card that everyone is playing is Shiny Shady, and that card can flip 2 monsters face down. It's basically like Book of Lunar Eclipse, but if your opponent has this card, they can just send the cards that you flip face down for this effect and then revive back their materials to keep on comboing. And this card being limited to 1 prevents that from happening too much, stops them from having access to this card too often, and makes it so that your Shiny Shadies are more likely to be effective on stopping your opponent. So that's a good hit. Beyond Probe to 1 is kind of harsh, I would say, because the Crystal is also at 1, but this card is really good, so can't really complain too much. Rush cards, limit to 2. Thousand Knives from 1 to 2 is completely fine. This card can be unlimited, I think. The biggest issue for Dark Magician is that it's too sacky of a deck. It either wins immediately on turn 2, or you go first and you draw 5 spells and you don't summon anything, and then you get killed immediately. Like, the deck is too coin flip reliant and has to be really lucky to be able to do anything, and Thousand Knives is not going to solve that. Shield Boring Kong, whatever, Joint Tank Rush Home, whatever, unlimited cards. Seven's Wonder Fusion being unlimited, this is probably going to make Sevens more competitive. That deck was always decent, now it's going to be even better because now you can play the limit-free good stuff. Music Princess is not a deck that I like, but I guess it's fine. Nobody plays the maximum pyro, so that's fine. I don't think they even have the fusion monster that uses this card. And a Noodle. Okay, whatever. Skill changes. Furion Battle Royale removes the requirement to play 15 plus Furion cards, adds a new restriction that only Furion monsters can be normal or special summoned. So you just cannot use the extra deck at all. That's probably enough to kill the deck. But the deck is still going to be quite decent going second at breaking boards, but they can't rely on that all the time because the going first options that they use to play, like Hallowed Life Barrier or Tava, are all limited to 1. And also their turn 1 board is not going to be good because they limited, they stopped them from using the extra deck, so no rank 8 good stuff. It's just going to be Regulus plus the trap, I think. And that's not very good. And then changes the follow-up effect to be usable on turn 2 regardless of the opponent's field. So you can just use the effect to search whenever your opponent goes first, which is not a big deal. I think the biggest deal is going to be the thing that stops you from using your extra deck. The Eye of United Dragon is the Dark Magician skill. lets you use the second effect to be activated when you control a Dark Magician. So instead of a Dark Magician Dragon monster, you can just use it when you control a Dark Magician. I don't think that really matters too much. Barrier and Battle Morph Galaxy Eyes, that's a Tachyon skill. Now adds a Tachyon Transmigration at the start of the duel. That should have been something that they did on the last ban list when they completely nuked the Tachyon package, because that is a good thing because it stopped people from splashing the rank 8 engine, but that also stopped Tachyons from being playable. So now they are playable, which is good. Introduces a stricter summoning restriction that only allows level 4, 8 light dragon, dark dragon monsters like Seas monsters to be no exception summoned during your turn. I don't think that matters, but what matters is that the deck is now playable, which is good. Number one doing is really these are rush skills, right? So no starter skill hit, not surprised, honestly. Number one, drilling is ramen, can add the thing only once per duel. I think that means you can add it more than once per duel because it was previously once per duel, I think. Bonus Returns now supports Earth Dragons with 2000 or more attack, so just more lenient, I think. And then Hard Rock Overture, just skills that nobody uses, whatever. And that's it. That's all the changes. Alright. Before we look at the comments, let's really talk about what I think. So, obviously, as Konami does, they don't address the new decks correctly. It's still going to be Lava Golem Sphere Mode meta, it's still going to be miserable, it's going to be more miserable because now Droll and Nibiru are unlimited, and also Predator Plans, for whatever reason, can play both Hydra and Super Poly once again, as kind of a way, I think, they want us to combat the new decks for quote-unquote more diversity. Red Dragon Archfiend can have more negates, and they hit a lot of FTKs, but I imagine people will still find a way because Konami refuses to give meaningful restrictions to new skills. So speed is still going to be as miserable as ever. And for Rush, it's actually pretty good. I like the hits that they gave Rush. I think they are always a bit harsh to Dark Galaxy. Same with the deck a year ago when they hit the Darkhold Device and the other cards as well. I think they're always a bit too harsh to Dark Galaxy. I'm not biased when I say that, but the deck has always been a bit too inconsistent to be anywhere in the top tier. It's a good deck, definitely, but the deck has always not been consistent, even though the new skill is a step into making the deck more consistent by stacking your top deck. The deck still has a lot of random effects, like Cataphract milling your top deck, Forbidden Requiem having to hit high attack monsters, for example, and like Crystal having to hit monsters. The deck already isn't like very consistent, so just having a slight consistency hit is already, I think, good enough to make the deck balanced. I don't think they need to hit beyond Probe for this reason, but this card is really good, so yeah. So Rush is looking good, but Speed is not, so not too much has changed overall. It's still, if you think the format was miserable, it's still gonna be miserable. But yeah, let's have a look at the comments. I see a lot of people are not happy with the ban list as expected. Why has Brigham's Blast been banned? Genuinely, what does this ban list even do? Limit 1 on Crimson Dragon means that you can't do nonsense like searching Necro Valley, burn you to death, but yeah. So that's Starters is still obviously going to be really good. Infernoids are still in balanced hell. Yeah, they're still gonna do the exact same things. The skills not hit. The FTKs are hit. I mean, the extra deck rip is hit, but they can still make 3 Quasars, right? And then Furion is dead. If the skill change, yeah, they can't use the extra deck, and also no Lava Glimpse or Sphere modes. And then uh yeah. Yeah, so it's not looking good. People are not happy. I mean, they did hit some good things, like, you know, the FTKs, and they finally killed off Furions, but Stardust is going to be miserable. It's not gonna be. Look, yeah, Rush Bannerlist was good. Yeah, Rush Bannerlist was pretty good, but uh yeah, speed not so much. Alright, so I think that's enough comment scrolling. Tell me what you think. I think Rush Bannerlist was good, speed was not. And let me know if you think that way as well. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I can get Duel Links running soon so I can actually make real videos. But for now, that's it. Goodbye.